Hey everyone, good to see you again. My name is Jordan and I'm from Families of Character, and typically on Tuesdays at 11:30 I have a sidekick sitting with me, Sarah Newman, another mom and one of my teammates here at Families of Character. But because of COVID-19 we are still social distancing like you are. So I am doing my live video from my home, just like a lot of the newscasters are doing the news from their homes, and all these basement offices that are being created. And so we want to keep it consistent here at Families of Character and come live to just share the hope with you about family life and how your family can thrive during this time of crisis and uncertainty, right? So we have had several different videos on in the past where we have talked about the family huddle. What is a family huddle, right? It's getting together with your family intentionally at the same time each week for a period of time, 30 minutes or so, to really just gel as a family, come together, look at what's on the schedule for the week, and then talk about kind of what types of individual goals you have that you want to work on for the week, right? Something simple as, you know what, I'm going to try to stay on my homeschool schedule, right? Hey, Sarah. I love to see all the little eyeballs pop up on the live video. That means we're having people engage with us and watch and just chime in whenever you want to, okay? So anyway, we've put out these videos before, so why are we circling back? The reason we circle back to the topic of family huddles today is because of all of the craziness that is happening, the massive disruption that this virus has been to all of our lives, and in family life especially, right? We are working from home, we are homeschooling, we are thinking about people who are sick. I know this morning I woke up to a few messages with two of my clients who are really sick in the ICU, and that's my work life, right? But they're like family to me. So thinking about them, we're trying to manage our kids on screens because we're busy and with our own work. And I mean, all this stuff, we're eating meals together as a family and everybody's sitting down and we're together more often, right? So there's all of this stuff that has changed during this time of crisis. And so that's why it's so important right now, more than any other time, to just come together as a unified family. We call ourselves Team Langdon. I know there's a family that calls themselves the Phillips 5, right? Or the Newman 6. But just to have an identity with your family right now is so important, and it's a great time to create that if you don't already have that, right? Hey, Helen. Hey, Colleen. So today we want to just talk about a little bit about, like, I want to share with you what my life, my family life was like before we even had family huddles, okay? So it may be just like your family. We're just rolling along, or, you know, my husband's a financial advisor. I'm a clinical social worker. So, you know, he's doing his work. I've got my practice. Our kids are all in school. We have kids aged from 13 down to 5. So we're doing life, but not with any family meetings. And it's almost even hard to talk about because I can't remember, like, it's hard to remember anything that stuck with me from that life before, if that makes any sense. So anyway, we started doing these family huddles about a year ago. So every Sunday we would get together, we'd have dinner, and then we just huddle up in the living room, just like a team does, right? Like a team gets together and they, you know, practice together and they talk about plays and they talk about the upcoming competition and all of that. Like, we would just huddle up in the living room and say, okay, time for a family meeting or time for a family huddle. And we would get together and just look at the calendar, really just get on the same page as a family. What do people have going on, you know, and how are you feeling about that, right? And so we would just really spend that quality time together, kind of listening to one another, right? I mean, my husband would say like, I've got a busy week this week, or I've got client dinners 2 nights this week, so I won't be home for dinner. Or I would say, I've got this going on with my practice, and so I'm going to be home a little bit earlier than expected. And our kids would chime in and say, I remember that gymnastics got canceled this week, so we have this going on. So it was just a time to be together and talk and really validate each other and just know that we're together. We're all in this together. So imagine doing that right now during this crisis. We're already home together, right? We have the ingredients to make this recipe, okay? And it works. And I can tell you because we're doing this as a family. We have been doing this as a family, right? So you huddle up and make that connection, right? One of the things that we talk about in counseling is just one of the most basic things every human being needs, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is love and acceptance and belonging, right? And so these meetings help create that. Huddling up with your family really helps your kids and yourselves as parents feel like you're part of something bigger, right? You have an identity in your family, right within your 4 walls, right underneath your own roof. And so when everything else is kind of spinning out of control and there's so much unpredictability, belonging to a team where you have a coach on your team or a leader on your team, like you and your spouse, it brings together so much family unity. Okay, so before, like I said, we were just like kind of 2 ships passing in the night. We weren't doing these scheduled family huddles. Life wasn't bad. It wasn't like we were really struggling as a family. But life got so much better when we started doing these family huddles every Sunday, and continues to get better, okay? So before, when something would go awry, everyone was kind of on their own to fend for themselves, right? If I had some work stress, or my husband had work stress, or we had something new come up in the family, whoever that kind of happened to needed to really just kind of pull themselves up by the bootstraps and just deal with it. And if you had time or happened to make time to talk about that with your spouse in between everything else that's going on in life, then bonus. But otherwise, you just kept going down the road in the path and sort of doing your own thing, right? So since we've been doing these family huddles, I have to tell you, we had a big win last night, in my opinion. Okay, so last night we called this impromptu family meeting because we were all feeling stressed. And you can tell, right, around the kitchen or around your house how people are short with each other, or the kids start fighting with each other. And it's normal. This is happening in everyone's home, okay? So if this is happening to you, please know it really is normal for this to happen during times of such uncertainty and unpredictability. So anyway, my husband said, let's huddle up. Okay, that's kind of our key phrase now. And that means let's come together. We need to kind of level set, regroup, go back to our foundation, and just really engage with each other, okay? So we go into the living room, we sit down, and I'm kind of, I've got a lot on my mind. So we started reviewing the week, and we started with today. So yesterday was Monday, so we said, okay, Tuesday, here's what we've got going on. And I'm listing off all these things that have come up kind of spontaneously for things like my practice, right? I have a couple people reaching out to me that need support that wasn't scheduled, so something different in the schedule. So I'm talking about that and coming live on this video and the things that we have on our schedule with the schoolwork and everything. And I think everybody can sense my anxiety. They're like, wow. And so my oldest son, Parker, said, let's just hold up. I'm going to go get my school schedule for tomorrow when I have Zoom meetings for classes and all this stuff. And I'm just going to come back and let me just tell you how I can help. My husband and I are like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, listen, I have a block of time between 11 and 1 o'clock where I think I can really help you. And here's also how I can help tonight. After you put Annie, she's 5, to bed here at 8 o'clock, I'm going to stay up with Lincoln for 30 minutes, not crazy past his bedtime, but I'm going to stay up and help him with his schoolwork that he has for tomorrow so that you, Mom, can have an uninterrupted time during your day. Okay, this is shocking. This was not happening before, okay? We were not figuring out ways that we as a family could help each other and really just initiate that call and say, I got this. This is me. I'm going to help this time. And so that was so awesome, right? So we celebrate these wins just like we would at our workplace, right? We huddle up every week, maybe even every day to touch base with our team at work. Why? It's a priority. People say we have to. Why do we have to? Because it works. It's effective, right? So why would we not do that with our family? Why would we not give them the same time and attention and planning as we do with our work, right? They're worth it. So Sarah and I were talking on the phone the other day. I love your comments, Sarah. It's nice to just be together. My kids feel more unified for sure. They express that love. But we were talking about the other day, like while we're home during this time with our family, let's create some of those little family traditions that go along with that identity of being a family, right? I know one of my favorite memories that my husband shares about growing up in his childhood was the fact that every time there would be a thunderstorm, Colleen, who's watching right now, she would pop popcorn and they would go outside under the awning and eat popcorn and watch it rain and listen to the thunder. And it's like, we're home together, people. We can get together. We can do these things, right? Like Sunday, I said, you know what? I am bored with the same old meals. And the only meat I have in the freezer is a turkey. So let's make Thanksgiving dinner. Why not, right? So Sundays are kind of a time for us to make a nicer dinner. It was so funny because my kids came downstairs, my youngest two, and one of them had a suit and tie on, the other one had a dress and heels on, and they said, we thought if we're gonna have a fancy dinner, then we should get dressed up fancy. And then they did a little dance for us after dinner. Like those little things your kids will remember for years and years, right? So this whole idea of becoming a team and really this team mentality and identifying your team. Team McCarville, right? Team Newman, Team Burma, like name your team, right? At the end of our family huddles, you know what we do? This may say totally corny, but we don't care because it works for us. We love it. We all pile our hands together in the center of our living room and we go, Team Langdon, right? It's just like a way to, it's awesome. We forgot to do that about a week ago. And the next day we woke up and one of our kids was like, we did not do Team Langdon at the end of our meeting. We have to do that twice next time. Like they really look forward to that. And again, when there's such uncertainty, everything is changing, they need to know they are grounded in love with their family. They need to know that there's unity, that they can count on each other. I was also telling Sarah, you know, when you develop this habit of family huddles and, you know, having a name and identity for your family, it's just awesome how they can even recite what you stand for, right? Like Team Langdon, we do hard things. We're fun, interactive, and adventurous, they say, right? And it's like that because we're trying to remind ourselves this is who we want to be. This is what's important to us, right? Great point, Sarah. The family huddle is the time kids can count on, right? If they're having some stress, they are feeling overwhelmed, they know that every Sunday they've got time. They have safe, secure time in that huddle where they're going to be validated, listened to. They have a chance to pitch in on ideas for the family. What are we going to eat for dinner this week? You know, what adventure are we going to do in our backyard for something different to have some exercise, right? But you might think, okay, that sounds like a decent idea. but then you might not even put it on the calendar. You might not bring this to your spouse to commit to. I would discourage that. I would highly encourage, a call to action for you today is to put it on your calendar. Don't think of it as another thing to do. Oh, it's something else we have to do. Think this is something that we get to do. This is a gift to start being unified as a family, to create little family traditions. Listen, I know a couple families in the Denver area that have been a part of Families of Character for years and have been doing these things that we're recommending, like the family huddles, and their kids went off to college. They still huddle up on FaceTime, y'all, every Sunday. Their kids in college. It doesn't matter what the night before looked like. Their kids are dialing in to participate in that family huddle because they miss it. It's something so close to their heart. It's something that is so meaningful to them. It's their foundation, right? It's that love, it's that acceptance, it's that place of comfort, right? So let's start creating that right now. Instead of having kind of this mindset of the scarcity mindset of, oh, this is horrible. This is, everything is so awful. Let's reframe this crisis. Let's think of it as an opportunity for our family. We're already together. We have the ingredients. Let's make it happen. What do you say? Hey, look at all these people. Joni, Rox, hello everyone. So what are you doing? What have you done? Chime in here. What have you done over the past week or two that is something that you have kind of kept going in your house despite the crisis, right? So if it was something that you used to do that took you away from your home, how are you incorporating that tradition or that fun family adventure into your home? Give me some comments. Let me know what you guys are doing. I definitely want to know. We've got to share the love with each other, right? That's really why we come live on here, is to share what works, to share what resources. We have tons of free resources at Families of Character. If you just go to familiesofcharacter.com, we have a freebies tab at the top. Click that. You know what we have right now? We have a weekly schedule. This one's black and white because I ran out of colored ink, but it's really awesome in color. It differentiates each day, but then there's also one that's already completed for you. So if you don't know what to do or when to time block homeschooling or snacks or recess or family time or dinner, don't even think about it. Go to our website, go to the freebies tab and print it off. And then see what works for your family. If those time blocks that we have preset for you don't work, print this one off and make it your own. They're free resources, people. We need that, right? We need that. Okay, so Sarah said, we're sharing gratitude for siblings every night at dinner. That is awesome. I love that, Sarah. And Colleen says, wasn't going to, but decided to decorate for Easter. I love that, right? We could just say, forget it. This is a crisis. I'm just not doing that. I'm not going to bring out the spring decorations or the Easter decorations or Passover. I'm just skipping that this year. Don't do it. Keep the tradition alive, even if it's just you and your husband, right? Colleen doesn't have kids at home, but she's saying, I'm going to keep these traditions going because it is something meaningful to us, right? It helps us with that sense of security when everything else is just kind of crazy, right? So keep the ideas going, share the love with everyone, huddle up. Huddle up. You are a team, and we believe your team is winning, is going to continue to win. We certainly, our thoughts and our prayers are out there for all of your family members or friends who may be sick with the virus, and we just are so grateful at Families of Character to all the healthcare providers and workers and anyone that is out there and, leaving their family in order to protect and to serve and to really heal all these people at this time. So while you're at home with your family, let's see what you can do to really amp up the love, the unity, and the helpfulness around your house. We will catch you next Tuesday. Stay tuned for more daily posts. If you think this is helpful, share it. And we'll see you real soon. See you guys.